Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Serene, and together with me are Zhe Yu, Darren, and Ruofan. Today, my group and I will be presenting about the issue of overworking in Singapore. We have decided to look at the issue of overworking because, according to a study in 2019 done by tech company Kisi, Singapore was one of the bottom 10 for work-life balance and was also ranked the second most overworked city amongst 5 cities. Due to the severity of this, we have decided that we would like to uncover the cause and hence propose solutions for this issue. In order to do so, we have decided to focus on a company in Singapore that is currently facing this problem. Being one of the biggest gaming companies that is often recognized by the triple-headed snake trademark, Razer has been facing backlash from its staff. There were complaints from staff of having no work-life balance, working absurd amounts of hours, and even having to face verbal and physical abuse. Many employees have spoken up about this issue to news outlets like Kotaku. According to these employees, they stayed even through all these hardships because they were waiting for the company to be publicly listed so that they could sell their stocks for a fortune. With the context in mind, we will first analyze the cause of this issue and why employees are not speaking up, after which we will then offer recommendations which can then help to improve this situation. Now, I will go through our in-depth analysis from the 3-level relationship: individual, interpersonal, and organizational. To start off, we will explore why everyone seems to just accept this toxic environment through an individual's perspective. Firstly, we need to understand that Tan, Razer's CEO, has a self-made billionaire image, especially with all the news coverage he gets. After all, he is Singapore's youngest self-made billionaire. Furthermore, employees see him as a very observant and intelligent person. As a result, it is no surprise that his employees will look up to him. Moreover, he is always perceived as hardworking. This is evident as he will send messages in the group chat as early as 6 a.m. and as late as midnight. As his employees, they will see him as an example and will want to work as hard as him. Hence, they are more inclined to just do whatever he says without questioning him. Another reason why his employees do not stand up to him would be that he has legitimate power, especially since he is the CEO. This means that he holds the most power in the company. Therefore, very little employees will speak up as there is a risk that they get fired. Next, Tan holds coercive power, which is the ability to apply punishment. This is evident as he often hurls objects at employees when they submit work that does not meet his standards. Some employees even stated that he would threaten to fire them if they did not meet projected sales targets. This places tremendous stress on employees. Therefore, instead of just standing up to him, employees work harder such that they meet the expectations of Tan so that they do not have to face Tan's emotional outbursts. Lastly, Tan also holds reward power. As mentioned in the introduction, Tan will continuously remind employees of the huge fortune that Razer stocks will give them once the company gets publicly listed. This carrot and stick approach causes employees to suck it up and to just tolerate Tan's antics. Indeed, when there is a huge reward dangling right in front of the employees, they will be less inclined to just quit. It can also be said that the employees are experiencing the sunk cost effect. They have already worked in the company for so long, therefore they will just remain in that position no matter how toxic that situation may seem, just so that they can reap the rewards. Now, I will pass the time over to Zhe Yu.
Thank you, Serene. Moving forward to the perspective on the interpersonal level, particularly on the interpersonal influence. By definition, interpersonal influence is a form of social pressure exerted on an individual or group by another party, in the form of demands or threats. In order to seek social approval or promise of rewards, the sufferer tend to accommodate or compromise to the demands. In the following slide, I will discuss the influence of interpersonal relationships and how interaction between co-workers as well as the management contributes to the formation of corporate and management culture, thus resulted in the overwork culture at Razer. Forming common identity is crucial before any organization can form its corporate culture. Razer establishes the image of company with its slogan, "For gamers by gamers," inside and out of the organization. We believe this has essentially formed common identity among employees and enhances the inclusivity of the organization by making the employees feel that the company is run by like-minded individuals. However, the actual situation is in contrast to the image outsiders perceived. According to the sources from Kotaku, former employees felt that they were fighting their life all the time to serve CEO Tan and could get retrenched anytime if not working hard enough. One former employee has acknowledged the suspect on being overworked at Razer and said, "If you are not working 24/7, you are just not good enough." We believe this statement manifests the sign of competitive workplace as well as the strong influence of conformity at Razer. Employees have to adapt to the overwork culture in order to stay competitive and not get dismissed. The influence of conformity has gradually formed as part of Razer's culture, whereby new or existing employees will not question the normality of overworking, but merely following in order to fit in with the group. I believe the management approach adopted by the senior management and Tan has contributed to the overwork culture. Abrasive management approach such as the threats of firing and the use of abrasive tactic have been incorporated in the management culture. In fear of getting fired, most of the employees remain silent and allow the management to continue squeezing them dry, as if the overwork culture is rationalized. Such abrasive behaviors demonstrated by the management corresponds to the top-down approach of Tan. We believe his dictatorial management style is rooted in the management culture of Razer. Moving forward, the habits of communication and approaches adopted by the management is arguably another contributing factor to the overwork situation. According to one of the ex-staff, Tan had a habit of sending messages in work group chats at non-office hours, such as early as 6 a.m. or as late as after midnight, which has a tremendous impact in weakening the work-life balance routine of their employees. Such behavior can be detrimental and result in an always-on culture in the organization. Additionally, public shaming and humiliating is yet another reason why the staff at Razer are not fighting back to the overworked culture. Another ex-staff has reaffirmed that the public shaming of employees being a regular affair at Razer. Employees are scolded publicly in the workgroup chats and were constantly reminded that it is a privilege to work at a company like Razer. However, we may also argue that the cases above are due to the difference in perspective. In one ex-staff's comment, he or she felt that people should not feel that like they are hanging on a thread when the company is just selling keyboards and mice, as the employees possess the employee mindset, which tends to place self-interest over the company, whereas management have to place the company's success and sustainability above all. Furthermore, we will be exploring whether the context of the gaming industry play a part in contributing to this situation. Is this really an industry norm? According to Time, one of the staff from Telltale Games recalls that executives will demand last-minute game changes, which sends developers to overdrive. Bloomberg has also reported that CD Projekt SA, a gaming company, forces employees to work 6 days a week despite promising them that they will not force overtime. We believe these examples point to the fact that overwork tend to be a norm in the gaming industry. Employees might already aware and have expectations of this culture, hence they do not stand up to it or try to change the current situation. Razer's image could have also contributed to the situation. Being one of the most established gaming companies in Singapore, many people who want to join the gaming industry have aspired to join a company like Razer. Therefore, when they actually enter the company, they will tolerate Tan's behavior as it is their dream job. Moreover, they will find working in Razer to be a privilege despite its unfavorable environment. As a result, they do not stand up to Tan's antic. Now I'll be passing my time to Rofan. Rofan, please.
Thank you, Terry. Now I'll be talking about recommendations. As a root cause of the overwork culture is the lack of empowered employees and unhealthy leadership caused by Razer CEO Min Young Tan berating and threatening his staff. Razer should approach this problem on an individual and management level. It is in the company's interest that this problem is solved as particular behavior results in decreased job satisfaction, increased anxiety and stress, which leads to increased turnover and reduced performance on employees that will hurt Razer's profit. To cure the overworking problem, the 3 recommendations are incorporating wellness programs, empowering employees, and healthy leadership for the management. In fact, Razer is already incorporating wellness programs for employees, giving free Razer Blade laptops, gaming during work hours, and hosting regular community game nights. I will now be going through the part on empowering employees. Under empowering employees, there will be internal actions and external actions. I will discuss the internal actions first. On an individual level, it is vital that the employees feel empowered and confident to correct the anxiety and stress caused by Tan's political level at the workplace. It is therefore vital to take note of details of meetings to stay on track with tasks and as evidence if ever confronted by Tan. Employees will then be focused better on tasks and results in greater efficiency during work, which results in them hitting goals sooner and gaining reference power from Tan as work is being done quickly and concisely. Thus, Team managers could set up a notice board or virtual to-do list so employees are clear on tasks to be done. Lastly, employees should use strong body language to stand tall and firm and respond calmly to diffuse Tan's threats. If internal actions fail and employees find the stress and political behavior unbearable, talking to human resources should be the next solution. Human resources should be at the forefront leading the charge against overworking stress and political behavior by addressing the issue and speaking to the managers personally with the feedback. However, in Razer's case, there may be negative effects if employees consult the HR. There will be higher chances that HR will side with Tan since he has formal power over employees, therefore protecting Tan over the employee and making the onus of change on the employee instead. Retaliation may occur, such as being assigned to smaller projects or being intentionally left out of meetings. The last resort would be to seek legal action if the problem escalates and use the Protection from Harassment Act. On an interpersonal level, employees should discuss their goals and ideas for the company to emotionally support one another and form coalitions as an influence tactic to be empowered. This is done to mimic unions that are done overseas. One example is Game Workers Unite UK, which aims to support gaming workers on the receiving end on harassment. HR and team managers can implement monthly town hall meetings by using this idea to discuss employee feedback and welfare to help Razer grow as a company. Now I'll pass on to Darren to talk about healthy leadership.
Thank you, Rofan. I will now be explaining how, at the management level, Razer can improve upon the culture of overworking. We propose a plan that revolves around appointing a Chief Human Resource Officer. Initially, we considered approaching Tan and asking him to correct his actions. However, we feel that our advice would be met with fierce opposition, as even Razer's marketing director was fired by Tan for a mistake. We advised that Razer's HR team propose the idea of appointing a CHRO with the position of executive director. The HR team should propose to the board of directors using rational persuasion and anchor on how the current political environment, which causes workplace stress, has a negative effect on the company's employee and economic performance. The CHRO should be elected by both the board of directors and all other employees and be regularly rotated every 2 years to ensure there is no bias. His goal would be to work alongside Tan as the voice of the people and be a devil's advocate, allowing Tan to avoid groupthink and promote a healthy working environment. The CHRO should be someone with excellent communication skills, utilizing formal communication with interviews and board of director meetings to highlight and raise key issues, as well as informal grapevine communication to uncover issues employees are facing but are less willing to share. As with every organizational change, we expect resistance to the change. Firstly, there may be inertia from Tan, as he views the CHRO as a threat to his power. Razer's HR team should use Cotter's 8-step plan, anchoring on the positive effects the CHRO will have on the company, as well as the CHRO is meant to work alongside Tan and not against him. HR should act as the initial coalition to lead change and influence other departments and directors along by creating strategies and direction for the change with a bottom-up approach. This approach allows HR to garner support from the employees to influence Tan, who we view will be the main opposition to this change. After hiring and empowering the CHRO, there should be short-term goals and rewards for staff, such as bonuses for increased productivity. A postmortem should be carried out to evaluate the growth before and after the changes. Razer can reinforce this change by incorporating reviews into their town hall meetings, as well as their weekly game nights to promote a culture of inclusivity. Lastly, we must prepare for backlash from Tan after the CHRO is appointed. The CHRO must have excellent communication skills to communicate with Tan and to convey the thoughts of the employees to Tan. This heavily rests on the legitimate power the CHRO has from his position, the referent power he has by being a voice to all Razer employees, and the extra power he should possess by learning OBHR. We expect the backlash to play out similarly to Robert Moses. It is important to stand up to a bully rather than to continue to appease him. In conclusion, we've analyzed that Razer's overworking culture is based off Tan's toxic behavior, the unhealthy influence he has on his managers, and the overworking being a norm in the gaming industry. We recommend a plan that solves the problem on two fronts, the employee level and the management level. By empowering employees and implementing a Chief Human Resource Officer, as well as to look out for obstacles that may limit the effectiveness of our recommendations. Thank you, and we would love to hear if you have any questions.